Hello and welcome back to CardyGolf TV, which isn't what I call this at all. But welcome anyway, and welcome even more to Hindlesham Golf Club. This is my home club and the first time I've been here in this series of videos. And today at Hindlesham Golf Club, it is about -2, it's freezing cold, and guess what? We've got temporary greens. How annoying is that? Now I know some places the head greenkeeper says frozen greens don't make a difference, frozen greens don't matter. Some other greenkeepers say that it makes a huge difference, it really affects them later on in the year. I don't really know. I'm no agronomist. Barely even say the word. Is that even how you say it? I don't know. All I know is when I've got temporary greens, I've got temporary greens, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to make the most of it. I just see that you have two options when it comes to temporary greens. You've got option number one. Give the poor lad in the shop a barrage of verbal GBH, even though he can do absolutely nothing about it. Call the head greenkeeper every name under the sun, even though he's just trying to do the best he can for the golf course. Get in your car, in a grump, go home and kick the cat. That's option one, and a very, very popular choice, I must say, sir. You also, though, have option number two. Option number two involves still playing golf like you plan to, still having a good laugh with your mates like you plan to, still being constructive and maybe making yourself a little bit better like you plan to, but you just can't putt out as well. You know, the greens just aren't quite as good. So I'm going to give you a few tips on maybe what you could do to make it a little bit different, because you can't play proper golf. We face the fact, what can you do to make it constructive and have a good laugh? So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to play a few holes here today at Hindlesham, and I'm going to set myself a few challenges just to make golf a little bit different. First hole, first challenge, no woods. Not allowed to use my driver. I think I thinned that into position A. So as we go around, everything I'm going to do is to try and make the game a little bit harder. The temporary greens here at Hindlesham are quite a lot further forward, and we do use those big bucket holes, so we get quite a big advantage here. Thus, by not being able to use woods, not being able to use the driver, which happens to be probably my strongest area, I'm making the game a little bit more difficult for myself. Okay, so my thin into position A wasn't quite position A, but we're nearly there. We're just in the semi. I've bushed my distance to the flag. I've got 94 yards. Luckily, I don't need a wood for that anyway. That's not bad. Put my wig back. Just walking you up to our temporary green here, and the reason I'm doing this is proof that I actually get a good shot. A lot of you probably don't bother putting on the temporary greens, and that's fine, whatever, really, not overly necessary. But when you've got a birdie putt, I'm just going to do it anyway. 2019 rules, flag in. God, nearly missed that. Come on! So there's loads of different ways on the golf course to make it a little bit harder for yourself, and little challenges you can do which are fun and definitely constructive. On the second hole, I'm going to play gruesomes with myself. So I know there's probably loads of different names for that game, but essentially what it is a backward Texas scramble. I'm going to hit 2 shots, and I'm going to pick the worst one, and I'm going to play from where the worst one is. And I'm going to do that all the way to the hole. So it's one in the fairway, but it's unlikely I'll be playing that one. They were very similar. Bonus being I'm not going to have to walk too far. Walk down to these two drives, you can see they are very close together. I'm thinking the hardest one to play is probably actually the one that's furthest forward. The pin's actually over there, and that's going to be more on a ball above feet lie. So that's going to be the hardest one to play, so I'm going to play that one. 56. Not too bad, maybe a bit long. Always drop them if you're in the rough. I'm in the semi-rough here, so I'm going to do the 2019 knee drop. Not the best. I've just hit both of those shots so far past that green. I'll pick which one looks the hardest, so we're going to play that twice. I'm taking no risks here. I'm going with a 7-iron and I'm going with a little bump and run. So I keep nearly forgetting to do the knee drop. So the second one of those two wasn't really struck properly. That's going to be the one I'm going to have to play. Now, because I hold one and not the other, it doesn't count. I need to now hold 2 from a foot past the hole to make 5. Shane, back to level. I think I've got time just about for one more hole before I start boring everybody to death. And this time, I'm going to play a hole where I'm only going to do 1 club, so it's going to be a 1 club challenge. And I'm going to pick a 5-iron. Don't ask me why. Just going to pick a 5-iron. Love that one. This was probably my favourite of the 3 that I've done today. Just being allowed to use 1 club makes you so inventive, I always think. Think back if you saw my last video about muckabout practice and my reference to Sevi and how he used to train. Not only that, it means you don't have to think about what club you need all the time. So here we are, we're in the middle of the fairway. Rare sight. I have 76 yards. Not my normal 5-iron distance. Let's conjure something up. Just a tiny bit long. Tried to take some distance off it by holding it down the handle, opening the club face and just doing a very, very small swing. It wasn't bad, but that's definitely an area of my game I could sharpen up. And just because you're in and around the green doesn't mean you can stop with the 5-iron. That's still your 1 club for this hole. We'll take a par. Now, I'm not just saying it for the sake of the video, but I really enjoyed that. It's actually really nice just to go out and play with no stress, just have a general muck about. There's a bit of a theme going, I like mucking about. But also to be able to use my imagination a little bit, try a few different shots. And I completely forgot while I was doing that we was on temporary greens, because it didn't matter, it wasn't the aim of the game. You could turn it into some really fun games with your mates on a Saturday morning or whatever. And I bet you could come up with loads of good ideas. I mean, I did no woods, I did gruesomes, and I did a 1 club challenge. That's just 3 holes. So between you and your mates, like, have some fun and come up with some other ideas, and feel free to send them in. And actually, it doesn't just have to be when it's temporary greens, does it? Because ultimately playing that kind of golf instead of doing the same thing you do every other time can only make your game better. I hope it helps. I hope you've got some ideas to take away and have a go at. Any questions, as always, at CardyGolf and pretty much all social media. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Any feedback is always appreciated. Thanks again for watching. See you next week.